I said, if these kids can't read, then I'm not going to call them. All this, mom, dad, I'm looking you in your face and say this kid can't read. We let them down. School, parents, we let them down. But I'm not going to take them to the next grade knowing that they're not at grade level. It's funny because I'm always like, okay, how are schools successful? Well, schools are successful when they demand greatness. Greatness doesn't come. We're about to make history. We're about to learn. We're about to grow. We're about to make history. And then, mark my word, it's going to be other school districts, other places around it that's going to be doing this thing. We're going to be the first model. And I'm speaking that into existence, okay?
For booking, please visit S. Hurt School Turnaround Special.
If you can really take the map and drive the instructor inside the classroom and link it to the M step, then everything will move. You see it?
Ladies, third grade teachers, could you tell me, how do you think this professional development was for you today?
Easy. It was productive. It was exciting. We will never leave Mr. Hurt's advising.
Because the schools that I've worked with, the teachers I've worked with, their scores just go through the roof because what I do is I talk about practical stuff that's practical. Because I'm a former teacher and also I'm a principal, so I'm gonna be telling you guys things that I know will work in your classroom.
For booking, please visit S. Hurt.
Good morning, everyone. This is Sean Hurt with your Saturday morning podcast. And we have another exciting one on this morning. Part two on ways to address mental health illness of students and teachers at your district. So come on in and hit that share button. Let me know where you're coming from. Give me about a couple of minutes as I get all of my Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter people in. And I need you to share this out. This is another exciting podcast on this morning. So give me a few seconds and tell me where you're coming from. Give me some love. You know how we do it. If this is your first time here, I want to say thank you for coming in and tuning in. I'm excited to bring this information to you. Hold on for 1 second. I got all these devices going on and things of that nature. We're going to have another excellent podcast. I cannot wait. This is going to be, this is something that we really need to discuss, talk about, bring to light mental health. How can we support our teachers and students? Last week, we talked about it and it was excellent. So we're going to do part two on this. They said, Hurt, you got to get part two in. I said, not a problem. So let me get a few more folks in and we're going to go ahead and have a really good time with this and just share out and see where we go from here. All right. Give me a couple more seconds. Got all these folks. Yes. All right. So let me see who's checking in. 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 Let me see who's with me on this morning. Hold on. Because sometimes they say, Hurt, you get started and we don't know, we don't know what's happening. All right, cool. So I want to say good morning to Principal Kafele. Good morning to you. Good morning to Brother David Bell. Good morning from Benton Harbor. Good morning to you, Dr. Jeter. All right, good morning to you. Good morning to it's jumping AP Patrick Lawrence. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning to Rashard Davis from Vegas. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Who else I got? I got Melissa Jones Chuno. Good morning to you. I saw some of your excellent posts on this week. Good morning to you. I got Gian Gian. Good morning to you. We are in a mental health epidemic right now with our students. Yes, I know, and that's why I got to talk about it. I got to deal with it. Good morning to you, Miss McMahon, Arnetta McMahon from Illinois. Good morning to you. Stacy Love, Joy in the house. I got Miss Taylor Williams in the house. She come from Florida. I need to be in Florida with some of that good weather. I got Josh Tarver in the house. Good morning to you. I got, Roz Gaskins, my good friend Rod Gaskins. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. All right. So let's go and get started. I don't want to, because I got a lot of information to give. So last week, I talked about part 2. Last week, it was part 1, 9 ways to address mental health of your students and teachers in your district. And it went so good, but I didn't get through it. So we're going to do part 2 on today. Okay? So that's what I'm doing. But every time I always ask the question, the most important question, as an educator, you are an educator. What is the 1 or 2 things that's keeping you up at night as an educator? When you go down, when you put your head in the bed and you're about to go to sleep, educator. Josh Tarver, Principal Kafele, Roz Gaskins, Dr. Jeter. What is 1 or 2 things that is keeping you up at night? And just put it in the chat. For me, I'm doing a countdown now. We're in March. Today's March the 1st. We have 80% or 90% of the districts, they start their state tests in 4 more weeks. You know who you are. And the question I always ask, are you ready for the state test? Have you prepared? Have you done everything that you can to make sure when the state test comes in April that your students and everybody is prepared? I've been talking about it since August. We're here. So that's what's keeping me up at night when I'm working with schools, when I'm posting different things, So what is keeping you up at night as an educator? It could be the DEI that's taking place. I'm keeping tabs on that. I'm going to be talking about mental illness. What is that 1 thing or 2 things that's keeping you up at night as an educator? And just put it in the chat for me. Okay? Next thing is that I want to talk about what is going on with me. I am excited. I'm happy. I'm pumped up. For me, I'm going to be in Idaho on March the 14th working with Principal Strong. On March the 20th, I will be in Georgia with Principal Flowers. So I'm going to be traveling all in March. I got Miss Nancy Kennedy coming up. She's in Alabama. So I'm just working with a lot of schools and things of that nature. So that's what I will be doing in March. Also in March, being in this educational field for 25 years, in March what takes place. People are starting to interview for these administrative positions, AP positions, principal positions, and coaching positions. This is when it's time where you're going to start seeing posts about, hey, we're looking for coaches, assistant principals, or principals for the upcoming school year. So there's a lot of people out there on my podcast that will be interviewing. So I just want to put a few nuggets out there for the people that's interviewing in the next couple of weeks or so, things that I was able to do to become a principal. And when I interviewed many people for my coaches positions at my school, assistant principal positions, and so forth and so on. These are the things, these are kind of the nuggets that I say bring to the table. The first thing I'm going to say is know your stuff. Your resume is going to look like what it is, okay? I've looked over hundreds of resumes. Everybody's resumes kind of look the same. They're going to have your education qualifications and things of that nature. But when you go into the interview, you need to articulate, you need to know, you need to bring to the table that you need to tell the people that's interviewing you that you know your stuff, okay? The next thing on top of what you say, know your stuff, Hurt. Okay, I get that. Next thing is that, can you articulate how you can improve student achievement at the school? Can you articulate it how you're going to take this school that you're interviewing for this district, how you're going to be able to take it to the next level. If you can articulate that, I believe that there is a good chance that you will get that job. A lot of times when I was interviewing APs or coaches or principals, they never was able to articulate how they were going to take such and such school to the next level. They talked about what they did in the past and things of that nature. But when you told me that, hey, this is my plan of action, that I'm going to take this school from a D to a B, and this is what I'm going to do. It perked up my ears and it perked up everybody's ears and said, oh, this person is on to something. So know your stuff and be able to articulate how you're going to be able to take that school to the next level. Does that make sense? Give me some love. Show me some love out there. Is that making sense? Is that making sense for anybody that might be out there interviewing? And I know Principal Kafele, he has a plethora of stuff on YouTube pages and on his YouTube page regarding interviewing and all and things of that nature. So check it out. All right. Okay, I see Dr. Jeter, the current world situation and how it's affecting the mental state of people. That's why I'm going to talk about it. That is why I'm going to talk about it. So you say, Hurt, why should I listen to you? Why should I actually listen to you regarding mental health? What gives you the platform to talk about it? So I'm going to let you know a little bit about myself and how maybe I do have a little bit of information regarding mental health. First, for anybody who didn't know, a lot of people don't know, I don't talk about it. I have a bachelor's degree. I'm going to say it again, a bachelor's degree in psychology, in child psychology. Okay? That's the first thing. So I have my credentials in it. Went to school for it. Second thing is that I have been in education for 26 years, and I've sat on many different programs, saw thousands of students, had conversation with parents, IEPs, sat down and talked about mental illness, things that have happened in a child's life at 4 or 5 years old. Now they're 13 years old and they're dealing with it. Trauma, they've seen death, they've seen all of those things. It has impacted mental illness. And I have been having these conversations and been working with kids for 25 years. Man, Hurt, I didn't know all that. Yes. When you're a principal, when you're a teacher, when you're an AP, that is part of what you're dealing with, in addition to moving student data and things of that nature. The last thing is that my wife, I've been married to my wife. Her name is Erica for 20 years. She is a nurse. So also she has the nursing side to mental illness. So she talks about different things that's taking place on the nursing side. So I got all three elements. So I think that I'm able to articulate and come up with strategies and things of that nature to help principals, to help APs, to help coaches. In addition to that, once again, if you're interviewing for a position, you're interviewing, this is something that you can bring to the table. You can talk about how you can create programs to deal with mental health at the school level with teachers and students. So I'm just giving you a few nuggets. All right. Now let's go get started. I got my notes right here. Hit that share button. Show me some love. Let's talk. Let's share. Let's get with this. Okay. Now, I got some data to share. Listen to what I'm about to say. Mental health challenges among students ages 15 through 18 are significant. In the United States alone, approximately 1 in 7 children aged of 13 through 17 have been diagnosed with a mental or behavior health condition. I'm going to say this again. 1 in 7 children ages 3 to 17, that means preschool to 12th grade, have been diagnosed with a mental or behavioral health condition. Now, I'm not going to get into diagnosing anybody, but that's what the data say. Well, where did you get that data from? CDC.gov. Go to CDC.gov and it will give you that information. I'm going to say this again. Thank you, Mr. Green, for saying very good information. One of my good friends, beautiful individual. 1 in 7 children. So this is what's taking place. And Mr. Green just did a documentary on mental health for adults down in Las Vegas. He's on here. And Mr. Green, if you have some time, if you could put that documentary in the chat, so if someone would like to see it, they can see it. But he did a documentary on adults with mental health last month. It was an excellent 15-minute documentary on what's taking place. We're dealing with it with our kids. And what's taking place that we're not having these conversations. We're not talking about it. So you're saying, Hurt, if I have 300 kids at my school, that means you're saying 24 kids might be dealing with that have been diagnosed. Now, we're not even saying the other ones that haven't been diagnosed. These are ones that have been diagnosed with mental and behavioral health conditions. I got 600 kids, middle school. That means 50 of those kids is dealing with that. So we asked the question, with all of these mass shootings was taking place, I'm a firm believer if someone would have diagnosed them or saw it or gave them strategies, then they wouldn't be coming to school shooting up people, shooting up schools and things of that nature. Yes, we understand regarding guns. We get that. I'm not staying there, but I'm saying the mental illness, the things that's making these adults and students break. Hit that share button. Let me know if this is sounding good. Now, this is so important. I should have over 1 million educators on here, because on Monday, you're going to be teaching. You're going to be in front of somebody, because mental illness is nothing that you can see. It's not something that if I broke my hand, I have my hand in a sling, or if I broke my leg, or if whatever, I broke my nose, I can see it and I can say, oh, let's give this person some accommodations. Oh, he has a broken leg, so we need to make sure he goes to lunch 4 minutes early to beat the crowd. Oh, his arm is broken, so let's give him a desk so he can write on, so he can make sure that he does his work. I can accommodate. Those are called accommodations. I can see it. With mental illness, I cannot see it. I can look good, feel good or whatever, but I don't know what's going to break me up at top. I cannot see mental illness. It just acts out in a way that can cause harm to the person and also to other people. Cause harm to the person. Well, what type of harm can it cause to the person, Mr. Hurt? Suicide. Oh, I am going there. Suicide. Why we got so many kids committing suicide? Also harm to other people. I'm coming up. I'm going to go ahead and do things to other students. So now I need to give some strategies to talk about how to identify it and what we can do as a school and district. All right. Yes, I told you I am prepared. I got my notes and I am dealing with things that we need to talk about. I'm the one that's going to talk about topics that we're scared to talk about at a school level, district level, but it's impacting us. These are the things that we have when we're in the lunchroom, when we're in the teacher lounge, or when we go home and we're like, man, what's going on? What's going on? You know, this is what I do. All right. The first thing is that we need to understand mental health needs within the school. We need to understand what that looks like. Last week, I talked about how we can support the adults. Now I'm talking about how we're going to support the students. I need to know, if I'm telling you 1 out of 7 students is dealing with mental behavior or illness, that's what the data is saying. That means I need to know that that is happening within my school. Not at the high school level, not at the middle school level, but also at the elementary level. Understand, the first one, understand mental health needs within your school. Understand it. Okay? Next thing is that now I understand it. This is what I did as a principal. I am not telling you anything that I'm reading in the book. This is what Sean Hurt, school turnaround principal, did when he was in Muskegon Heights, Inkster, Southfield, Oak Park. 4 districts I worked in, what I did when I was a teacher and administrator. Next thing, number 2, consider having some mental health training. Consider having some mental health training. Well, how do we do that? We don't got the money, Mr. Hurt. We didn't put money set to the side. Show them this podcast right here. Start at the 13-minute mark and show them from 13 minutes to the 30-minute mark. Show them the podcast. Consider having some mental health training that is ongoing. Ongoing. We're talking about it. We're looking at it. We're watching videos. We have our antennas up to make sure that we're having this training taking place, that the teachers and everybody is equipped to deal with it. Is that making sense? Let me know if is that making sense. Number 3, educate parents and students on signs and symptoms. Educate. That means give them information, pamphlets to parents and students on signs and symptoms. So that means as a principal, you're outside, doing traffic duty. I was outside doing traffic duty. Come on in, making sure traffic is fine, making sure the kids getting home. Now, I can take some pamphlets and say, hey, let me give you some information. Let me give you some information. Oh, next month, we're going to have a meeting dealing with mental health. I'm giving out information. I'm letting the parents know. I'm showing them Mr. Hurt's podcast. It doesn't have to be this old big thing. You can seize the time and days and when you were parents on something like that. That is what I did. I had pamphlets I would give out to parents, just giving you some information. I would have my PTO. Hey, one of our workshops throughout the years, because you got to have meetings every other month, we're going to talk about this right here. Have it be an ongoing, educate parents and students on signs and symptoms. Number 4, have a place students can go to talk and a strong open door policy. Let's reflect. Let's stop and reflect. Is there a place within your school, especially middle school and high school? Let's go with that. They're older. They can be able to articulate themselves, where they can go and talk about, this is what I'm dealing with mentally. I saw this take place at home, and this is causing me to have this type of anger, outburst, whatever it may be. Is there a place in your school? It could be the counseling room. It could be the PBIS room. It could be a room where you can go ahead. I've seen rooms where you can relax, lights is dim, and you can talk, whatever that is. Is there a place in your school that the students can go to talk and articulate themselves? Oh, I know I'm talking good now. I'm talking, this is Miss Melissa Jones-Chuno said this is good stuff. Thank you for the feedback. Thank you. This is serious. Do you have a place? Oh, Hurt, we don't got a place. Okay, that's fine. Let's get one for the upcoming school year. Let's have the conversation. Let's do it. Let's take that classroom that's not being used, that got boxes and old curriculum and all of the other stuff. Let's turn that into a place where kids can go to. Next one. As a principal, the other thing is this. If they're dealing with a lot of stuff in the environment, if they're watching social media, listen to us things on the radio, my neighborhood, where I stay at, I see things that is not positive and it's having an impact on me mentally. I'm seeing things in my home that's not positive. You have to create a safe space and a positive school environment. So, for example, the school has to be a place where it doesn't enhance their mental health. It doesn't take it to a whole nother level. So if your school, if it's fighting and bullying and wilding out and things is taking place, well, it's going to look like what they came from. So now, how can you combat mental health when your school is making this mental health go to a whole different level? So what we did as a school, which was inner city, is that we created a school, and I was very, very positive of this. Our school was created, an environment was conducive for the kids to feel that this is a place of love, care, and things of that nature. Okay, Hurt, be a little bit more specific. All right, I'm gonna give it to you. I have my walls painted. There's different colors. I say somebody put in there that can stimulate a healthy mind. So I have colors. Yellow was the color that I use, yellow and purple, to stimulate a healthy mind inside my school. So I had my school painted. Also, part of that is that every kid, and I did it. I have positive. I took a picture of all of my kids in my school. This is what I did, and I hung the pictures up from the ceiling of my school, all 600 kids throughout the school in the hallway, because I wanted them to see a positive image of what they look like. So if they're coming from a situation that's negative, I wanted for them to see themselves in a positive image. Those are two things I did right off the bat. Next thing that I did was this. I encouraged social time within the classroom. I wanted my kids to be able to talk among their peers, to be able to socialize in a very positive manner, to be able to feel that they was part of a family, part of a community. We called it the community. It was a family at the school, a family atmosphere, family community, because if you feel that you're part of a family, if you're part of a community, you will feel that there's a need to live. I'm going to say this again. If you feel that you're part of a family and a community, that means you have a need to live. A lot of times, the kids, 16, 15, 13, 12, whatever that age, they feel that they're not part of no family. Their family on the outside doesn't love them. I go to school, I'm being talked about, I'm being bullied, I'm being picked on, I have no friends. So now my school family doesn't love me. No one loves me. So now I'm having mental breakdowns, and I'm going to cause harm to myself and also to others. Oh, yes, I know what I'm talking about, because I've been seeing it. This is what we need to talk about ASAP before we lose another student to this mental illness. I told you I've been doing my research on this. Next thing, let's organize a wellness week or wellness month. Let's take a week and let's organize a wellness week that we can talk about good eating, physical activity, going outside. If you ever realize that when you go outside, the sun, the rays, the air will change how you look at life. Like if you're in a house all day or whatever it may be, then you think one way, but going outside, going out, getting some fresh air, it changes. So what I did, and then, man, golly, this is so good. I would encourage, because in Michigan, you can only go outside certain months. But when it got warm, I would encourage my teachers to take the kids outside for science. I was like, okay, I know they're gonna have recess and all that, but for science, go outside. Have science outside. Go out to nature. Go out for a walk. Get the 25 chairs. Have them sit outside. Get them that right there alone. We don't have money. No, you can go outside during one of your lessons in the sunlight. The air that they are breathing will stimulate positive mental awareness for that 14-year-old or 13-year-old. The sunlight in the air. It blew my mind when I started to do that with my students, when I started to encourage my teachers to do that. Things looked at the behaviors, the mental aspect. It was so good. And I'm not saying because I read it in the book, I'm telling you because I saw it with my students. So, oh man, I got one more minute. So I'm going to stop right there. once again, 1 out of 7 students is dealing with this. On Monday, you're going to see it. So I need everybody to please look at this podcast again. I don't want people to look at it because it's Sean Hurt, but I want you to be able to get some of this information and be able to use it on Monday. Use it on Monday. If you can't use it on Monday, have these discussions so you can plan for the upcoming school year. I don't want to see nobody on my podcast, no kids, no teachers dealing with this. We can solve it. We can help to assist. It is 1 out of 7. It could be 1 out of 20, 1 out of 25. Let's really deal with this. Okay. So thank you very much. Make sure you go ahead and go to Create and Educate at 10:30. They're on there now. And if you would like for me to come and support your school, just inbox me. We can make it work. Go on my YouTube page, subscribe to my YouTube page. Let's make this viral. Watch this during your break. Watch this during your grade level meetings, whatever it is. Thank you. May God bless you, and let's have a blessed week.